Welcome back to another episode of Find the Line, presented by Against the Grain Design and Print, where we dive into real stories with real racers, the successes, the hardships, and everything in between, with your co-hosts Logan Cipala and Joe Falde. Produced by Luke Cipala, it all starts right here, right now, on Find the Line.
Yeah, and we can do anything. Mama said it's true, and I put that on everything. Mama told me one day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, cause they'll get you through this so-called life they call living, but I call it strange, and I bet I'll do it, cause I'm on my way.
All right, welcome back, my horsepower homies. We are having a fun episode this morning. We're recording on Sunday morning here. We're going to be talking round one, American Hillclimb West, the Washington Nitro Nationals. Let's give a little preview. We're going to get a little championship insight into the grounds from 895 himself. Also, we're going to have a legend on. We're going to have the man that's making this event just pop. I mean, man, if you're even next to a computer, you've seen some unbelievable posts about the Washington Nitro Nationals. That's all due to our guest after the break, Bret Peterson. But for now, it's just the locals. It's just Luke, Logan, and myself. Boys, how are we?
It's a beautiful day. Well, not yet, but it will be.
I was going to say it's still raining here.
Yeah. She's raining. Got the sticks up for the first time yesterday, boys. Went with the legend Jay Hoyer. We shot 9. Undisclosed amount of beers got drank. It was a tough one.
I really want to know the kill count on Busch Lights for yesterday between you two.
Were you there when Jay emptied his cooler into the fire? It was similar to that at about the 5th hole garbage can. Yeah, we went for it. We didn't hold back. It was awesome. Ellsworth Country Club looking like it's going to be a great year up there. The manager, Red, just the nicest guy. So fun to get out golfing. Man, just can't wait for summer. Spring's so fun.
Yep. Can't beat that.
But we got big news. We're previewing. This is round one, American Hillclimb West, the Washington Nitro Nationals. I mean, this is one of the most unique venues in all of Hillclimb, all of Motoclimb, all of our sports. And I think just talking about it, we got let the fans know about Motoclimb Super Series. We were at Carnegie. There's some big differences, isn't there, Logan, in what the American Hillclimb West features and what Motoclimb Super Series has as well, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. There's a good variety from both series and a little bit of overlap here and there with different hills. But the American Hillclimb West has got a sweet hill for round 1 and 2 for sure. I personally think it's one of the best in the country. It obviously suits my style, so I'm biased for that, but it's super fun. I can't wait.
The hill is just like, it was an open bike's dream, that hill, because you can just frickin' get into it. It's technical. You got to know your line. You got to know your equipment. And when it comes to setup, I mean, it's scoop or nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's there's not really any other choice that works. So
I was even trying to think, have you seen a chain wheel out there at all? Has anybody tried a chain wheel or no?
I'm pretty positive Austin would have had one on his Gixxer last year when he won.
Yep.
There's no way that he didn't, because I know that they've tested a paddle and they didn't like it. So I would say that he probably has. And on a big nitro bike like that, the chains work just as good as the paddles when you have that kind of power.
Right. Yep. Okay. So if you got nitro, you can throw the chains. But if you're just little MR Pro 6, you better bring the scoop.
Mm-hmm.
But then also remember, we got some pretty unique features. The frickin' ramps. Good God. I mean, what other venue in the world has ramps like that? Is it the coolest thing you can do on your 450s, hit those ramps?
Yeah, it's awesome. I remember when we first started going out there, I think 2017 was the first year. It was like all I wanted to do was be able to get to the ramps and jump those ramps. And that was kind of what drove me to go out there. It's unbelievable innovation for the sport. And it really makes a sport look cool. Like, I know that's one of the things that people see and they're like, holy crap. And they'll send the reels and the videos from that, and it gets people talking about it.
So you and I had the exact opposite feelings, because I was doing everything I could to not get to the ramps, and you were getting everything. That's why you're fast and I'm not.
Yeah, like we talked about with Jeremy last week. You should have came down from that qualifier and just choked and then started messing with your bike a little bit to make it look like there was something wrong.
Right. I know it. Well, that happened.
Missed opportunity.
I'm still proud of myself that I at least tried it once, but I
tried it.
epically failed, but whatever. But
I think if you went back, you could do it. I know you can do it. It was just bad luck.
Yeah, it's all right. But it's besides that, I just think it's freaking cool as hell. I love watching it. I think that it is the best start. You can feel the energy. Like that crowd is around that pit. Like it is so epic when they tear off and they hit that. And then the best part is it's that ramp, how it lays you into the hill. It's perfect. Like the transition into the hill, like the racing is so good, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It kind of reminds you of the old school Keyway and Billings where just everyone is all around you screaming and yelling, hanging over the concrete blocks. And there's just so much energy down there. It's pretty unbelievable and really unmatched at this point with any other racing that we've got going on in the country as far as Hillclimb goes.
Yeah, if you're on Instagram, follow them. It's the Washington Nitro Nationals. You're probably the only person that doesn't follow them. If you're not following them right now, they've been getting a lot of followers. There's so many things also at the event. It's awesome camping. They have they work very hard. It's an actual what is it
OHV.
OHV park.
Yeah.
And they have camping facilities there that are just awesome. They have different levels of camping. They even have where you can go and rent a camper. They have like a certain amount of campers that you can rent the actual camper and get your own experience camping by just flying in. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool. The different layouts that they have for the camping and all the art that they do on the property. I mean, it's I would have to say probably the pinnacle of promotions and event venues that we have right now. The Crush Rock and the pits is awesome for us and for getting the rigs in and out and all the concrete work that they've done. And it's tough to beat, and rolling in there every year is pretty amazing. I'm super excited this year because Dog is committed to do the American Hillclimb West series is what I think.
Awesome. And, Dogger. Yeah.
Him and I are going out to Washington. We're traveling together because I decided not to do, it sounded like a whole lot more fun to just go out there with him and split some travel time up and stuff. So we're going to ride together, and I cannot wait to roll him in or be rolling in with him when he comes and gets to see that for the first time. He's
going to love it. That's going to suit Dogger's style too. The old blue KTM is going to go fast there. That's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
The differences, like we were talking before, from Motoclimb to American Hillclimb West. So American Hillclimb West, you have a 450 class with extensions. You have a 700 class that is it 251 to, or is it 4? No, it's 451 to 700, isn't it?
451 to 700.
451 to 700, and then that is any fuel, any tire, correct? On the 700.
Yep.
Then you have the Open X, or I don't even, do they call it Premier class now? I don't even know what they call it.
Who knows?
It's Premier, Open X, whatever, but that's 701 and up in the West. In the East, it's 501 and up, if I remember right, or something like that. It's kind of confusing. I guess I should have these details, but I never let them get in the way. Anyway, it's a freaking open class. It's about the big boys. They also have the side-by-side, which we've been talking about, which that qualifies out of the 450 class, and it's the top 32 that go from the 450 class into X-Climb. And it's really cool how they do that is when you go, they have a complete set of gates to the left without the ramps. And the first 16 races, round one goes not off the ramps. They go off to the left. Then the winners, so the top 16 riders, they go to the ramps. And I love how they do that because that they don't want people like me or people that maybe shouldn't be hitting them. And that weeds out a lot of people, when you take 16 away. And then plus it focuses that energy on those ramps, and it makes it even that much more special how they do that X-Climb. And that is a points paying class as well, the X-Climb now. And then also the big thing that we haven't even talked about is a lot of times it's damn near half of the purse for the weekend. They have the Dash for Cash, which sometimes could be equal to damn near half the purse. And what that is that's the top 6. Is it, Logan? Or top 5? I can't remember.
It changes every year and every time, and who knows what. But it's 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then they qualify out of either X-Climb or 450 from the top finishers. I never know what they are. It's gotten changed multiple times. So one or the two. So just make sure you're top 5 or 6 in both of those classes if you want a chance at the big money.
And what that class is that runs on a completely another hill, and they have way off to the right a whole nother gate with a bungee cord start. They have a whole different start to the hill. It's a completely ungroomed, what'd you say, ungroomed part of the mountain?
Yeah, just natural hill. Yep.
Natural hill, and that sucker has got to be 1,500 feet. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, it's 1,500 or 1,700 feet, I think they've said.
And those are the videos where you're watching the people just go all out, and they're all on 450s, and that looks absolutely freaking terrifying.
Yeah,
it's a minefield. It isn't. There's not a smooth part of that hill, is there? It's just rock after rock.
No, it looks smooth from a long ways away, but when you're up there, you're just getting bucked and kicked and hit sideways, and you just never know what's in front of you. And then there is a rock garden 3/4 of the way up the hill that you have to try to remember where it is and how to avoid it.
Yeah, terrifying. I as much fun as it would be to race for all that money, it scared the hell out of me. I don't know. That's crazy. And it's funny. We've had multiple winners. Petey's won it. Jake's won it several times. Didn't Joe Shipman win it one year?
He might have, yeah.
I think Joe won it. It's kind of cool that it hasn't just been one person that's dominated that event. It's been multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
The other cool thing about Washington, we talk about it all the time, the travel aspect. Man, if you have to fly in, you got options. It's pretty freaking sweet because you've flown in to Seattle before, correct?
Yeah, we did. So I've done it a couple of times when I was in college and my teacher wouldn't let me out of my exam for the weekend. I flew into Yakima and Dad just picked me up there, which is a town right next to Sunnyside. And then I've flown home out of Seattle because they've got a red eye that I can take to get home for work and not miss any time. So I've done both of that ways. And then I think you've done it somewhere, different airport too, right?
Yeah, Pasco. I haven't flown, but my wife has, and she said it was awesome. Carrie said fly into Pasco. It was a small airport. It was relatively inexpensive, which was really nice. And Spoose said it was just an awesome little airport. So, and all these, like the Pasco one, it's like 45 minutes or an hour. The Yakima one, you're a couple hours away, if I remember right. And
no, Yakima's the closest airport to the hill.
Oh, is
Seattle's
it
a few
okay.
hours.
Okay, my mistake. Either way, but you got options. I mean, it's kind of nice. Some of these events, there's not anything real close. So if you're looking to fly in, there's a definite option for you. The bikes this year, you were just talking before we got on here. We're going to see some new bikes, aren't we?
Yeah, I can. One that I do know of that has been publicly talked about a little bit is Quinn McCullough's. I cannot wait to see that V4 and how it works, and it's so cool. They did a great job building it. He sent me a couple of teaser pictures over the winter, so I've gotten to see that. But
nice.
And I think he sent me a video of them first time they started it or something similar. I'm really excited to see how that goes and how he does on a little bit more higher powered open bike. He's got all the skill, and it'll be really cool to see. And still got that V-twin feel at least, and I'm pretty excited that one's going to be cool.
And Quinn, that's the exact kind of person that we love seeing coming into Hillclimb, Motoclimb, American Hillclimb, getting involved. And now he's been building this team up. He's got that sweet Triumph. Yep. He's got, he's going to have options for Premier Class, and he's got so much talent. It's going to be so fun to see what he can do on this new Ripper.
Yeah, and then I think this is going to be his third year in, so he's got the experience at Sunnyside that he needs to get the setup dialed. So I expect it to go well for him, and especially with that new bike. Right. That'll be tough, I guess, getting the setup dialed on that. But I know he's got some training and testing areas up where he's at, so I'm sure they've done the work to get ready. Yeah,
and his dad's kind of a mad scientist, so you know that he's just been giving her. He's testing nonstop when they're at the races. I love.
They're both super knowledgeable, and they're not messing around.
No, that's awesome. That's what advantage you get about having a teammate like that is having two people to help refine the setups. It just gets better and better. Oh, yeah. When you're by yourself, you can go down those lonely roads every now and then where you're wrong and don't know it, and there's nobody there to call you out. It's nice to have that other voice to kind of kind of true things up. So I'm excited for that team and see what they do this year.
I had half a season like that once. It was painful.
Yeah. I think there's an 890 that's going to be out there. We saw Pat Johnson's at Motoclimb. He just got that done. But then Kirk, I think, is building. He showed that he had that 890, and I don't know if that's where that's going, if that's for somebody in American Hillclimb or what. But I think he has a couple of them that he's building. Kirk does. So it'll be interesting to see. Lots of secrets.
It's all tight-lipped for me. I don't know nothing. So.
Yeah, no, he never gave up to me either. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully it's at American Hillclimb West. That'd be kind of cool to see not just Jake on an 890 out there, see if there's anybody else. That'll be kind of fun to see, like Jake, he's got options in that premier class. There's a whole trailer full of bikes that he gets to pick from. It'll be fun to see what he picks.
Yeah, definitely.
He looked pretty at home on that 890 though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that thing would be, he just rides it so well, and it looks like it's so easy to ride and just feels like a slightly bigger 450. So that's you can make up seconds down at the bottom when you can hammer hard on a moto style bike. And then up top, I think from the videos I've seen, it looks like his top may be a little bit slower than some of the bigger bikes, but he's just making up so much time on the bottom.
Right. And I kind of want there to be a few more of those 890s to go, because I think maybe one thing it'll do is it'll showcase how talented of a rider Jake is. Because I think what people forget is when they see Jake smoke on that bike is that the bike is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of that's Jake, and Jake can make a lot of bikes go fast. I mean, frick, at Motoclimb in Carnegie, he couldn't even run his bike wide open or it would misfire. So he had to consciously not put it all the way wide open or it'd misfire, and he's running for wins. I mean, if you can have that kind of level of concentration and detail, you're going to do good on any bike. And I am interested to see more 890s get there so people can kind of see that, a lot of that is Jake is very talented rider.
Yeah, it's back in the day when Jim Getter said this quote to me. I'll probably mess it up when we were at a local race, but he said, "A good rider on a bad bike can do well, and a good bike, a
bad rider.
Oh my God, the bad rider on a good bike can do well, but to be dominant, you have to be a good rider on a good bike." And it's so true. And everyone and their brother thinks they need an 890 after watching Jake because they're so fast and so light, but I don't know if there's anybody that the combination between Kerry and all of the connections he has to make that 890 and then Jake's level of talent, which is unmatched in our sport.
Right.
Not everyone's going to be able to get on an 890 and do what he's doing. I can promise that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that they're a super fun bike, and I think that
I'm sure it's a blast.
I think that that's where, but people need to be understood, it's just not, the reason he's dominating is his talent. It's not the bike that's making it, so. But be fun to see whenever there's new open bikes that come in, our sport grows, right? So we want to get as many open bikes as possible and many variations of open bikes. It's so cool that in the best class in our sport, there is not just one bike that everybody runs. It doesn't look like a NASCAR loop where you can't even tell a difference. They are hugely different. The bikes, the motors, the platforms. I mean, it's awesome how different all the bikes are in the premier class.
Yeah, that's what's cool about our sport too. You show up to any race and you might see an FC09 3-cylinder 4-stroke. You will see all kinds of V-twin big bikes, 4-cylinder Hondas, 4-cylinder Gixxers, some Nitro 4-cylinders, Harley here and there. It's like the level of variety that we have, you don't see at the top level of any other sport,
It's so cool. And at the Washington, they have a great pit row. Awesome for going and geeking on everybody's setups and looking through there. They got it all gravel. It's so nice to walk in there. I love that when all the fans come in there, they walk down pit row, and it's on us as riders. We want it to be like at Carnegie or at White Rose. Make that sucker professional. Have those tents lined up. Don't keep your shit off the front. We don't want to see the frickin' campfires and tables with booze all over them, right? It's like we want that sumbitch professional. So when those fans are coming in there, they know that they're coming to a professional event.
Yeah, that's a good little rant too to start off with. Washington has put in the time to make their venue professional. So us as riders, let's take the initiative to make the pits look professional. If you don't have the best looking pit set up, maybe hang it back a little bit and let the big tents and nice bikes and stuff stay forward and closer to the crowd, and just do what we can to make it look good.
And it's the reason why we rant about this stuff is we want as many fans as possible. Every rider benefits from a huge crowd. The promoters make more money. If the promoters have more money, they can give more to the riders. If there's more people there watching, there's more chance for the riders' sponsorship opportunities. Like, it is very, very important. That's why we're always trying to key on, we want this experience to be like nothing else for these fans. And a lot of these fans, they're coming because it's unique. Show off that freaking open bike. If Bronson's got that sick new Premier bike, put it right out front so people can see it. They want to see, oh my God, look at that thing's packed into that little frame. And there's a lot of people that come because they have a custom road bike and they want to come see what their motor does on the dirt. It's like, just like that guy that drove 2 hours to Carnegie to come look at your Buell. It's like, this is how this sport grows and keeps growing. And we got to encourage that.
Yep. 100%.
I think we nailed all the classes. I'm trying to think. And then and that's one thing I don't know a damn thing about, is what's awesome too at Washington is there's lots of kids classes. They have a whole another round of, is that considered semi-pro?
So I know a little bit about this. I'll take it away from you, but there's pretty much all day Friday, they have amateur classes that they run off to that way left hill. Yep. They've got a pretty cool hill format set up for them, a couple little doubles and then a jump into the hill and then a long hill portion. I think they run enough classes to pretty much ride whatever the hell you've got. And then I saw yesterday they were promoting a run what you brung class. So that'll be kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
Maybe see whatever someone can come up with to race there. And then they also do the semi-pro kids classes, which I think there's like maybe a 60 and 80 class and then like a women's semi-pro type class, something like that. And I guess the cool part with the women's deal too is they're racing for qualifiers out to Devil's Staircase this year as well.
Awesome. And I totally spaced it, but in the pro side, there is the women's class, and the women in American Hillclimb West, they throw down. Like they can, these girls, they can ride so freaking good, and they are just hammering all of them. That podium every year is so fast. It's so fun to watch. Having two daughters, they're always cheering so loud. Molly is just on it. She's so fun. She's just fearless. That woman just goes. It's so awesome. I can't wait to see the women's rides. I totally spaced that. That's a big part of the show too. Always some of the loudest cheers come from the women just hanging it out.
It's a fun class to watch because it's super competitive out there too. Yeah. They've got a lot of the girls are all like, they're just blow for blow at some of these races back and forth. There's like 4 different leaders out of the 6 people or 8 people that are signed up. It's super fun to watch.
Yeah, and I think that they're seeing that from Molly and Alexa and the other girls that have just been killing it for years. There's been little girls watching, and you see now there's a lot more. That women's class is going to grow and grow, and it's so exciting to see that. It's really cool.
Yeah, there's a couple younger girls that are coming up that they're not quite that age too, but they've been ripping pretty good too lately. So it'll be fun to see some of them start getting in the mix here once they're old enough.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you looked at we're a ways out to look at the weather, but it's usually pretty freaking cold when we're out there. I wonder if that's going to stay true. I mean, there's been years where there's still been snow on the hill. Have you seen any like recent pictures? Is it looking pretty good out there?
I haven't looked. I know Bret was out there doing some dirt work, but it's kind of like that high des weather. It's cold as hell at night and then warms up during the day usually, but you never know because some years it's windy and like 50s or 60s, and I've been there when it's 70s and hot and sunny. So like you said, we're a little far out to look now, but hopefully there's a massive rainstorm on Thursday, just a nice long soaker that just drenches everything, and then they don't have to do so much watering.
Right.
And then it's 65 and sunny with no winds Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's what I want. Now we're gonna bring in Luke from his nap. Luke, right here. This is what we're talking about. The frickin' food out there, Logan. How good is the food?
Ooh, it's tough to beat. I know that that brewery that we go to, what that fish or something that you and Dad got was awesome, and then the taco place is hard to beat too.
Yeah, that's so cool. And Luke, have you been there? Have you been to Washington?
Nope,
I didn't
never
think
have.
so. Yeah, no, dang it, you'd love that place too. That kind of got your style, where you could be all silky on the bottom and then just go freaking throttle stop the rest of the way.
Yeah, from videos, the hill always looks really, really cool and flowy. And it looks like, obviously, of course, on video, it looks like pretty fun and smooth and easy. And then like every year you see like 10 clips of people just getting thrown over the bars. And so it definitely looks like a lot harder. I don't know, it'd be cool to see it in person, see how much like more rough it is. And that top like always looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't believe the first time that I rolled in how steep the hill was, because on videos it does not look steep, and it's a steep freaking hill. I don't know if it's just because there's so much more bigger hills all around it.
Yeah.
But it like does not look like it's anything. And then you get out there and it's like, holy smokes, this thing is gnarly.
Right. And those road gaps, they're no joke. Like they fill in, but when they're square, they're big. You gotta have your speed to clear them.
Well, yeah, think about, I mean, Bret's driving whatever it is, a D3, D4, maybe a D5 dozer across them and flattening those road gaps. So it's a large my
Right. Special place in my heart. I think it was the first time I ever had a Briera taco was out there. From our taco place. That was my first ever pop my Briera taco cherry. And then my favorite was a couple of years later, your dad is trying to custom order off a menu when nobody speaks English in the restaurant. You remember that? We're like, Todd, just point at a picture and order that.
There's numbers up there, just order the number. And even with that, you're lucky if you get what you want.
He was so pissed when he didn't just get what we got, because he's like, I should have got what you guys got. He was just so pissed. Oh yes, I laughed so hard.
I think that's the value that you have to learn and pick up, or that we have learned and picked up with all the restaurants you go to. Sometimes you gotta just go with what's on the menu and not be too specific, because it's like you just gotta trust them, especially at the Mexican places when they don't speak English.
The louder you talk, the better they understand, according to most people.
Is that caught in your chain, Luke?
Yeah, it might be.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they didn't understand me the first time I said it, so I'm going to speak louder and slower and say the same thing. I do it too, especially in France. It's like,
I know.
They don't get it.
When your dad and I were in France, we kept wanting to speak Spanish because we'd never been to a foreign country before, so we were trying to, cerveza. Oh wait, no, we're not in Mexico.
Yeah. The best was when I took Morgan and Mom to France. We went to a bakery to get some coffee one morning, and this was the first morning there. And I'm like, you guys, you can't just like walk up and custom order your coffee. So what do? I'll have an iced caramel latte with almond milk. I'm like, someone put me out of my misery. That's not how it's going to work here.
You better just order a coffee.
Yeah.
That's funny.
My God.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, something tells me Bobby could probably pick up a little French pretty quick.
She was rough.
She's rough.
And she'll admit it, so I'm not picking on her too bad.
All right. Little side quest for 895 last week, or yesterday, I guess it was now when we're recording.
Yeah, it was yesterday. We went to the Syracuse GP. I like to go. Obviously, Mike is a huge supporter of my program, so I try to go to their club to support him and their club as often as I can. And then they also just have a great events and riding land and opportunity there. They've got hundreds and hundreds of acres of sand. It's got side-by-side 2-track, moto track, supercross style track. I guess they've got a GP / side-by-side track in the woods now, and enduro loop in the woods. And they just keep somehow getting more and more property out there to ride, which is probably just a testament to how dedicated the club is. And the city of Rome helps them out pretty well, which is cool too. So they had their season opener was a GP race. So it's 2 half-hour motos. You run a little bit of the moto track, the side-by-side 2-track, and then some single track all mixed in.
Awesome. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. Super fast course, a lot of fresh trails. So the first moto, I got a good hole shot with Jack. He was leading, and then we were breaking trail, and he overshot the first corner into the woods, and then I caught it last minute So I stop and pivot, and another dude just absolutely T-bones me going into the woods. He goes down, and then I stayed up somehow. I don't know how. I should have definitely been on the ground. We caused a huge bottleneck, and then me and Jack are just out by a mile because the bottleneck was all behind us.
Wow.
So we're leading pretty good. And then I go into the next corner and try to hit my rear brakes. I've got nothing. I'm like, what is going on here? I just keep stepping on them. I'm like, I got a little bit. And I look down and my brake tip is folded flat with my brake pedal. So I can just barely touch it with the side of my toe. And it's like, these are fast trails. We're like third, fourth gear trails. And then they get rough, and trying to keep my foot on the brake is just insane. So we got, what did we do? I got passed twice. There's a dude in front of me just riding wild too. So I'm like, I'm kind of keeping up to him. Jack is gapping us a little bit. And then he kills his bike. I try to get ahead of him, kill my bike, get passed by another guy. So now I'm in fourth. And then I find a shortcut, thanks to Jack was just far enough ahead of me that I could see where he went and where the shortcut was. Passed both of those guys back, and then laid some pressure on Jack for maybe a half lap or so, and ended up winning that moto. Not overall technically, because an A guy passed me.
Okay.
They're super fast. So technically I won double A, but not the overall, but they scored it just by class. And then second moto, I had a good hole shot following a dude that didn't quite have the pace that I could. So I'm like, this is perfect. We're out by a mile, and he's I'm just riding a comfortable pace, trying to stay on him and wait for a mistake. And then what do? Go down. Get up, get past, get up, make it maybe another minute, go down again.
Oh, crap.
And then just put in everything I can. Catch Jack past me, so I caught him, and I caught the guy that was originally leading. And then I'm just trying to push and see if I can get anybody and catch up to one of the guys that I went down with originally and pressure him. But he's got a 450 and just smoking the straight. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to try to I knew I had to make a move in the single track because that was where I had more speed than him. And the last section of single track, we come in, and I knew there was a shortcut over a corner coming up. And this is like, I'm the most proud single track pass I've ever had. So I'm going to blow myself a little here.
Yeah, go for it.
And I'm right on his tail, and I knew where the shortcut was. I'm like, this is my last chance, because if I can't get him here, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know if he knew about the shortcut. And he goes right, and I see the shortcut, and I go left. And then I'm like, this is going to be tight because I don't know if I'm close enough. And then I see how much trail it comes off. I'm like, I'm committing. We're going for it. This might end bad for both of us. But and he had no idea. So I cut, and I bet you my rear tire just barely missed his front because it was just a perfect berm into the main line. And it was a fast corner too. I mean, we're probably third gear still. And just barely get him. And this is maybe 30 seconds before the finish line. And then it's all straightaways and moto track where he's got me covered. And I just barely hung on. So I ended up getting fifth overall, but third in my class. So I went 1-3 for the overall win.
Oh, awesome. Hell yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So like I said, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. The fastest guy had a bad first moto, and then he won the second moto. So that helped me out. And then I think the other dude went 4-2. So ended up getting the win, which was sweet.
That's mint. Was conditions, were they wet? Was it sand nice?
Epic conditions. Dark brown dirt. Everything was moisture, no dust. The only thing not epic is you blew through a lot of tear-offs getting sand stuck to my face. So there was a little bit of that. But if you're leading and not laying on the ground, you don't have that issue. So. my second crash was a full face plant into the dirt. Didn't put my hands out or anything. Just all I could see was sand filled in my helmet up against my lenses. It was great. Oh man, crazy. Congratulations on the side quest. You know, always racing. That's 895. Always be racing. Yep. The American Hillclimb. The other thing we were just going to mention that now this is the opener because Red Wing got canceled. Bummer. And I don't really know. I'm not on the Facebook, but I don't know why they canceled, but I think it must have come down to money. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know because I've heard too many stories to know for sure. But all I know is they chose to cancel it for whatever their own reasons were, and heard too many stories to speculate anymore on it. Yeah, it's a kind of a bummer. I mean, dang it, like
people make plans. A lot of people, they have to work so hard to get their PTO, especially if you're traveling and you make travel plans. It just sucks. There's not a good thing about it. I mean, I do appreciate how like American Hillclimb, they really do try to get that schedule out right away. And I think that's so important for the people that do plan. But then the backside of it is damn it, like when something gets canceled like that, it just kills you. We want the clubs to put on races. That's the goal. We want as many races as we can get, obviously. But man, it hurts everybody. I don't think that they willingly wanted to do it. But you got to remember, these organizations, they don't have deep pockets. So I'm theorizing, and this is a complete guess, but I'm guessing that it was going to cost them a bunch of money, and they had to pull the pin. So, I mean, dang it. Yeah. Some of it sucks. I feel so dang bad for people that had travel plans and did all that stuff, but that club's they got to look at their own self-survival. And if they didn't think they were going to financially be ahead of the deal, they got to pull out. I mean, that's just life. It's there's no good parts about it, but what a bummer. But here we are. West is leading the charge then, I guess, huh?
Yeah, they are. And let's see, I've seen speculation on Facebook and Instagram that East Coast guys are coming, and seen a couple of comments here and there. So we'll see who actually shows up and wants to do some racing. Hopefully we get a few people out there that want to dip their toes in the West Coast. But
I haven't talked to Dave. I don't know if Dave's going, because I mean that's one person. If Dave goes, there's an opportunity for some East guys to fly out.
Yeah, I saw Dave comment asking about number plates, and then Zach Biscay was asking, and it sounded like he was trying to come out. And
cool.
Who knows? Maybe awesome. Dave will just bring just pack everyone that he can from the East Coast in his trailer and drive out. We'll see.
Yeah, because Dave travels so damn much, but I don't think that one is completely awful for him. That must be like a 15-hour drive for him or something.
Yeah, I don't think it's too far, really.
Kind of the same thing with the Cali guys. You usually get some Cali guys up there in Washington, because I think it's the same thing. It's in that, if you're under a 20-hour drive, it's a lot more doable. It's like when you start getting those 30+ hour drives, that's a whole lot of commitment to make,
Yep, 100%.
But I'll be interested to see. I don't know. I know like last year, American Hillclimb, the NKS guys, a lot of them ran it. And I don't know if they are this year. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to make it out.
It's going to be a while, because I've heard a lot of those guys going back and forth. Wolfson told me in California that he wasn't going to do the whole series. So
okay,
we'll see what happens. It might be an interesting series this year.
I saw John posted on Insta that he's going to France too. And I'm interested to hear. I haven't talked to Matt, but I'm interested to see if they have the whole team figured out or whatnot, because it'd be pretty fun to start planning for some of that stuff. Obviously, with the Frenchies coming to Wisconsin and North Dakota this summer, I'm sure it would be fun to have a good lot of guys going back. That'd be pretty cool.
Yep. Always all kinds of speculation before the series.
Oh God,
everything's
love
a big secret.
Yeah, I love it. The one thing that I kind of miss is used to get all those people posting their hard card picks, and then they never show up. That was always a favorite one of mine too. It's like everybody send a picture of the hard card, but then not come to the races. I always like that. That was a good move. I think we could talk more with Bret when we. About the details of the race. And man, just really want to talk to Bret about his promotion. It's just been unbelievable how well he's been promoting this race. And I hope that it works like I think it will by what he's doing. It'd be pretty interesting.
100%. It'd be cool to see what they've got going on.
Against the Grain Design and Print is proud to announce its partnership with Find the Line. Against the Grain works with clients to build their business and racing goals through the design and production of premium stickers and decals. We offer one-of-a-kind subscriptions for a flat monthly fee that can save you hundreds of dollars. Custom mailers, white label printing, motocross graphics, and anything else you can think of, we have you covered. It's time to print your passion. Visit atgdesign.co or email sales@atgdesign.co.
Hey there, Find the Line listeners. We will always be looking for partnerships for Find the Line. Please email findthelinepod@gmail.com to see how we can work together to grow your brand. Once again, that's findthelinepod@gmail.com. Now, let's get back to it.
Oh man, our sponsor. You know what? They know how to make anybody look good. And now we get a guest on that can make this venue just look so freaking good. I mean, an ATG Design Washington Nitro Nationals collab. That's got to be in the future, doesn't it, Bret?
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bret Peterson. Bret, thank you so much for joining us this morning. How are things out in sunny California?
It's good. It's a little overcast right now. We're having some weird weather down here. Weather's like bipolar. It's wild. It's like 90 degrees one day, and the next day yesterday it rained. So all over the place.
That's always a term of celebration, isn't it, in California when it rains?
Oh yeah, no, I was telling Jake yesterday. I'm like, we got to go ride.
That's awesome. Well, dude, we at our first segment we were talking about your event, the Washington Nitro Nationals, first round 1 and 2 of American Hillclimb West. And man, you have been absolutely crushing the media. I mean, how fun has it been to see the responses that you guys have been getting about all you've been doing?
Oh, it's been wild, man. It's so cool to get some return on it and get not only exposure for the venue, but exposure for the sport. There's so many different people that have contacted me through my personal Instagram and through the Washington Nitro Nationals Instagram that are, big name people, Axel Hodges, Ronnie Mack, Josh Hill, that have all been commenting and seeing the videos. So it's been super cool. It's been a huge return for us. And, we put a lot of work into the venue and into social and in the marketing, and to finally see it kind of come full circle. It's really cool. We just got to convert those views into people through the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking before is the venue has so many things going for it. The camping is excellent out there. You got all kinds of options for people to camp. I remember last year you guys added where you can actually get your own personal camper that you can rent through a service out there, correct?
Yeah. I tried starting up a what we call is the VIP camping experience. So I teamed up with a local RV guy up there. And what we offer with them is they provide the camper, and you get a premium spot and 4 free passes for the weekend. Sweet. So it's really a deal for the consumer. Yeah. And we just kind of put it out there to try to get the RV rental place in business, and then promote kind of a turnkey package. You can ride in on your Harley. You can ride in on your street bike. If you don't have a trailer, you don't want to bring it out. You don't want to clean it and do all that stuff, maintenance it. You just show up and, get ready for a good time.
And it's so awesome. The viewing that you have is epic. You have it so professionally laid out with all the rock work, all the grounds. It's never muddy or even dusty. The start. I mean, we even got to see it at Carnegie. They mimicked your guys' start at Carnegie this year, and it's one of the most epic starts for an open bike you could ever have, because you get a whole shot, that big sweeper, and then it's just a multitude of options, isn't it, to get on your hill?
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm honestly just so blessed to be working with the team up there. John Nybor and Team GSD, those guys work year round on that venue out there. So when we show up and the week before the event, it's already all dialed in. It's covered in weeds. They're out there burning weeds for months and grading it. And I mean, he's out there every single weekend. So hats off to him for dialing it all in. And then honestly, I've one of my biggest passions has been building hills and building courses. I've been involved in it for quite a while with Glenn Helen, and I got to design the hill in DeCauseville for the World Cup. Wow. And just being involved in that and being able to keep it going until, these days where I'm getting older and still being able to be a part of it. It's honestly, I get out there and get in the skid steer, get in the dozer, and I'm like a little kid just trying to figure out what I can build for you guys to show off your skills. It's so fun.
As a market, when you're marketing, there's so many things to market. You got the ramps, you have unbelievable side-by-side racing. The bottom, you have, you have walls on some starts. There's big jumps on others. You got road gap transfers. I love like the pictures of Logan. Obviously, I'm his biggest fan, but where he's just laid out Travis Whitlock style, ass over the back fender, just going all out over those road gaps. I mean, it just makes you want to just get there and race. They've just been so fun. And then not to mention the King of the Hill, which is its own beast all by itself, where you got that monster of a hill and people just going balls out. That's just crazy. I got to think for marketing, there's just a lot to pick from.
Yeah, no, it's been tough to, it's been tough to market it because we have so many things to market, but not not a lot of footage. Last year, I tried to get more footage of everything. I tried to get up on the hill. Luckily, I've kind of stolen a little bit of Nitro Pilot's Colby. Thank you, Colby. Some of his videos, and have been posting those. And then also big shout out to Paul Giles. That guy,
he's the best.
He sat at the top of the hill, and literally, I have a video of almost every single run from both days. He videoed almost every run. So I've been trying to find clips that I had taken, halfway down the hill, and then clip them together with his clips or clips that my dad had taken, and just kind of piece stuff together to put in like a full clip that looks edited and not just shot like from a phone at the top of the hill.
Right.
So it's been tough trying to find all those clips and put it all together, but it's such a cool venue because I've been able to just basically show up there and with the sponsors that we work with, they give us all the equipment and everything, and it's just like, okay, what are we going to build this year? What else can we change? What else can we make bigger? What else can we, and still keep it relatively, in the hill climb realm, because you're not supercross and motocross riders out there. You can't, build a 100-foot tabletop and have everybody clearing it. So build it fun, build it safe, give lots of options. Part of the reason for the options too are that the dirt out there. I mean, as you guys both know, being riders and being at the event, it's like talcum powder. And so getting a watering system that is working and watering it. We added more clay to the hill this year. Nice. I added clay to the bottom, to the berm, to some of the middle sections, and then more to the top. So hopefully that's going to help out. But trying to find enough lines to where it's not going to get totally blown out, because it does. I mean, you got a road gap that's the width of a dozer that turns into a road by the end of the event just because of the dirt there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a delicate balance that I feel like you guys have found exactly the perfect combination between like motocross and hill climb with it, because everything's really safe that you guys build, but it's also, it films well, it looks really cool, it works out good, the bikes all work well through it, because it's like you build that type of stuff and it can go wrong quick with extended bikes and open bikes and all that stuff. So props to you guys. I've seen it here and there, even with the events I put on when we at Bay City, when we started making those types of jumps, like to get everything dialed in is really tough.
Yeah. That Paul, when you were talking to that guy, everybody should buy him a taco, right? He is the nicest damn man. He sits up there in the dust and he loves our sport. Paul loves it. He's in there watching it, and he's helped me drag my bike off several times. Sorry, Paul, but he's always cheering me over, so he doesn't have to help me, right?
Yeah, he's up there getting blasted too. It's like the almost one of the most rockiest parts of the hill is the top, and he's just getting roosted the whole time, and he's up there smiling and taking selfies of himself. I got a bunch of selfies of him. It's awesome.
And I think his shower's still clogged from Cowboy, because he gave Cowboy let him come back to his house and take a shower. And last time I saw Paul, he's still looking for a plumber to rotor out that shower, I guess. So we owe him.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's actually the Hilltop official for American Hillclimb West, so he'll be at all the events.
Awesome! That's great. That's great news.
Cool.
That's super cool. Yeah, no, it's cool. With the marketing, Bret, has that been you, or who's been the one putting the media together? Did you guys have help with it, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's me. Me, and then my dad. My dad posts stuff. You can kind of tell the difference when my dad posts something. I use ChatGPT a lot. He kind of flies off the he flies off the cuff. But yeah, he has a ton of video. I got more video last year than I have before, and then working with the video from Paul, and then also posting Colby stuff. Nice. It has been huge. I've really just been I've been trying to post consistently now for I feel like I started a little earlier than I should, because if I'm watching the insights, it's kind of fallen off a little bit. Okay. But when I did start, April 1st was really when it took off. Okay. We started doing some paid ads as well, which I think helps targeting that area.
Yep.
And yeah, just trying to post as much as I possibly can. Last year and the previous years, I've been so consumed with the marketing side of like doing our sponsorship portfolio, doing our website. I do all that as well. But I didn't have as much time to do the social media side. And so this year I really wanted to focus on it, and it's paid off, man. It's been huge. The numbers are insane, and it's just awesome.
That's what is, some of it is tough, or it's doing these pro events like what you're saying. It's almost, you have to have a 3-year plan, is kind of like what we found out, or a multi-year plan, because you can't just show up and put a bunch of effort into it and then quit after the first year if you don't make money. Like with Bay City, our first few years, we were just riding the edge of breaking even or losing a little bit. But you start doing these paid ads and you see the reach that you get. It's crazy. Even with just our race poster, it's thousands of shares and views, and reaches are in the tens of thousands. And we definitely don't do anywhere near as good a marketing as you guys have. But it just takes time to build up. It's like baby steps. You start building the crowd, and people start recognizing the dates that it's going to be, and then they can plan on that a little bit. But it's really tough to start out, and you guys have done well with just improving and stepping up your game each year too, which is cool to see.
The other thing too, I was going to say, and this may be terrible advice, but something that I was thinking about that you guys have there that not everybody does, but the crowd experience is really good at Washington. And I think like when, you're trying to get fans to book that camping spot, having photos or a video of all the awesome food trucks and the beer tent and that sitting area, like, for me, especially in the winter, like when I see pictures of like stuff like that, I'm like, I got to book that now, because I want that experience in my mind. Because like the food is, that freaking coffee trailer you guys had last year was epic. The coffee was so good. The beer's great, like how you can see, and even with the Kevin Looney and his buddies out there from Ohio last year, you could tell they just love that environment, and those guys know environment, and I think that's something you guys really are doing a great job on, and having pictures and videos of that would be awesome for the fans,
Yes, 100%. The promo video, I believe Matt did it. It was quite a while ago. It's either Matt or Colby did it before I was like fully involved and actually a partner. It had a ton of crowd shots. It was when Harley was the main sponsor, had a ton of crowd shots, everything else. I don't have any of that footage. And every year we try to get somebody to get footage. So this year I have a guy locked in, getting crowd footage, getting drone footage of the property, not just the event. Because most of the stuff that we have people come out and film, they're like, oh, you want me to film the racing? Well, no, I want you to film the experience. So this year, yes, 100%, we are on it with that, because that is a huge draw. That's what I've tried to do with the marketing, the fastest party in the Valley thing is make it an event, not just a race. And so that's what I've been trying to push, and hopefully we can get that across next year.
That's what we found too with Bay City. Like you have to make an event that people want to see and have reason to come out, and getting your vendors out there and your sponsors engaged with people is huge too. And like I said, you guys have been killing it with that. And it was funny last year, my mom and I think we went out to like get some lunch or something and walked into the spectator area. This is maybe midway through the day, and I go out there, I'm like, holy shit, it's packed out here. It did not feel like it, but people had just been like rolling through the pits all day, and you're racing and not paying attention. And we go into the crowd area. I'm like, holy crap, there's actually like a pretty solid crowd. It is everybody with their lawn chairs. There's like hardly room to walk around and get through it, So it's been cool. And it was definitely not like that the first couple of years that we have been coming out. So you can tell that people are starting to get the hint and figure out that they need to be there.
Yeah,
absolutely. COVID really hurt us. I think that killed a lot of venues, and we're trying to build back since then. And then I think the date change helped out a lot, because it was on Cinco de Mayo weekend. And we thought like, hey, it's gonna, it's mainly Hispanic community around there. We'll get them to come out. And no, they want to kick back at the bar with a Corona, not go to Motoclimb.
I don't blame them.
Exactly.
And when you're talking, you'd posted that you've had 4.5 million views on your media, 67,000 interactions, and 22,000 new followers. That is badass. That is so cool. And by building your venue, you're building our sport. Like we're all in this together, and it's so fun. And that's where we had to make this weird timing work, because we just wanted to get you on here, Bret, to honestly just be like, dude, thank you. Like this is so fun to watch what you're doing. And I love your eye that you guys have. have, like everything, even like the script on your hat that you're wearing right there. I mean, all of it. I love all the look of everything, and you can tell that racers are doing this, right? Like that's what I love about it. This isn't somebody at Google. This is a racer that's putting this together, you know?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've worked real hard to try to push the brand and then build the venue and then kind of keep that kind of party vibe and that lingo going throughout the marketing and keep everything concise and on track with what we're trying to push there. And the social media has just been insane. I mean, it's so cool. It's so hard to put stuff out there and not get a lot of return, and then finally you do, and it's like, man, I hope, like I was saying earlier, I hope it gets people through the gate, because you don't want to miss out.
Oh, it will.
I got a question. So where did that theme of like the flamingos and kind of like the palm trees, like I seen a lot of that stuff on the videos from last year, and I don't know if that was just last year's theme or if that's gonna be like a consistent thing, but I thought that was pretty cool as like an event to kind of have its own little like thing, and I was kind of curious to see how that kind of came about and everything like that.
Yeah. When I was trying when I came up with the fastest party in the Valley, I really based a lot of the stuff. We do a race down here called Day in the Dirt. Troy Lee puts it on, Fast House puts it on, and I would go there, and how like just the ambiance of everything was so cool. I mean, they have crazy stuff every year. They had a guy that built a big sandcastle there that was all cut out, and it said, Fast House and all this stuff. And they do really, really cool stuff like that. They have one pit area where a guy brings sod and he lays out sod and gets palm trees and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, hey, that would be cool. Like, we're in Washington. Like, let's bring some California vibes up to Washington. So then I started bringing palm trees and flamingos, and then that just kind of, I think, fit as a good theme up there because it's so off the wall. You don't see that stuff up there. I just wanted to bring something different to that crowd up there, and so we've tried to run with it. I try to bring some more flamingos and more palm trees every single year, and then come up with different ideas of stuff and just kind of brand it as its own little unique thing, and make it fun and make it enjoyable for the crowd, because the racing's enough to bring a crowd, but when you're there and you have an ambiance and you have a fun scene and a bar and all this other stuff, helicopter rides, it just makes it that much funner. It makes people want to come and spend the whole weekend there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. I love seeing that and doing like the podium stuff that you guys do. But I will tell you, we're going to one-up you at Bay City this year. Cows and cheese curds everywhere.
Whoa, let's go. Yeah.
Let's go. Awesome.
Yeah, that'll be 3 cows. That's going to be the podium. Going to have like, you got to sit on top of it to get your prize, right?
Silver and bronze.
I think Luke was just trying to backhand and tell you that was his riding gear print like 3 years ago. Your old theme, wasn't it, Luke?
Yeah, I was actually thinking, I went to a high school prom with the flamingo suit, so I was thinking I could send that with Joel and he could kind of run around the pits and be the hype man for the weekend.
That would be awesome. Be fat man in a little suit if I tried to wear your coat, Luke. She's coming back in 2 pieces.
That's the other thing I love about Sunnyside is that you guys do the one thing, and my biggest complaint about pro hill climb racing is that you do podiums after every class and do the interviews and get us up front of the crowd, because nothing drives me more nuts than doing an interview at the end of the day when there's 14 other guys in my class and I'm trying to blow my sponsors to them.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so awesome and so good for the sport to get the people in front of the crowd without their helmets on and get a good interview going. And I just love that you guys do that. And then on top of it, you've got that great ambiance and podium set up right out front too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, that was KP's idea. And definitely it was a good one. It adds to the length of the show, but I think the majority of people that are there are there to camp for the weekend, and that's what we've tried to get.
Yeah.
But yes, it is good, and I think it's cool the area that it's in too, because it packs everybody in tight and it looks a lot bigger than it does, especially for video and stuff. Right in front of the bar there. And gets you guys the exposure you deserve, and it's awesome for pictures and video. It's so cool.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's 100% my belief that if we aren't going to do podiums during the event, we shouldn't even do them. At the end of the day, get the pictures of the top 3 guys and send them home, because I don't need to I don't need to tell Jake Enstedt how good my sponsors are, because I'm pretty positive he's not going to be running anything that I'm trying to sell him.
Yeah, I remember doing them at like 2 a.m. in Columbus. That was
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to go to bed. Give me my check.
Exactly. But yeah, I love that part of it, and it's fun. Like, it's so cool just having, and then seeing all the little kids that get excited up there, and we get to throw them some merch that you guys have. Like, it's super fun, and definitely a highlight of the event.
The details make that stuff. I mean, that's where it comes down to. And this is where the getting the feedback and going to different venues and seeing stuff and all getting the right information. It makes it work. And it's fun to see that you guys are, it's, like you said, COVID hurt you guys. It's almost like you got to freaking restart. And now you're building back better and stronger. I think there's so much potential for that venue. It's just awesome.
Yes, thank you. And feedback is huge. I mean, when you were with Nitro and Mud, you guys gave me a ton of feedback every year, and I advise you guys to do the same. Please give me feedback. We are open ears and ready for any suggestions. And, every year we just tried to build it, try to, cater to the riders, cater to the fans, and just make sure that we put on the best damn event that we can.
All right. I hammered you on social media about this. I'm going to hammer you again here now for the X-Climb. I had an epiphany the other day with the format that maybe could help it out. So we do the work. I think the biggest downfall with the X-Climb for me is that the hill, like you said, it just gets blown out. So by the second day of the X-Climb, there's one really good line on the left, and then towards the center of the hill is just generally more blown out. So the first day, keep the same format. The second day, start with 450 class in the morning like we do. Then swap to kids and semi-pro and women, which gives all the 450 guys the time to get to knobbies on, and then do X-Climb right after them. And then you can do 700 and open and not have to worry about, you can have more freedom with those two classes because you're not worried about blowing out X-Climb, and you can open up that whole left side of the hill. Just a thought, but maybe a way to keep X-Climb a little bit more fresh for the second half of it.
Yes. So we're not fully set on any type of like a race order right now. What we tried to do this year is we wanted to shorten the show.
Yeah.
So what we did was we pushed kids to Friday and women to Friday. So kids and women semi-pro will run on Friday and Saturday. They won't run on Sunday.
Okay.
So Sunday's a shorter show for everybody. Let me see if I can make that work. I mean, like I said, I want to cater to you guys, and I want the hill to be the best. So it makes the show. Mm-hmm. So better battles are better for the show. Let me bring that to the table to the guys and see what we can do and see if we can get that out.
Now I'm torn because I really like a short show on Sunday. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to win 450 and then fuck everybody else because I'll have lane choice the whole way.
Yeah, I literally I go up there the week before the event and I pick out, because I went up there a couple months ago, recut all the roads with the dozer. So they're dozer width, they're 6 feet on each side. And then I have to go up with a pick and I pick out basically escape routes out of those. Yeah. And then I go up on basically across the face of the whole hill and try to pick out everything to make it as even as I can.
Yeah.
So see if I can do that. But the dryness that gets on the right-hand side and that sloughy stuff is what kills me.
Yeah, it's tough.
And we're going to get the guys on watering a lot better this year. We have a whole diagram of, hey, this is where you need to water, when you need to water. So there's no downtime in water, and guys calling down, where am I watering? Where are we running? Type deal. So
yeah, I also think if you just water it, it might alleviate all those issues anyways. Because that, like you said, that's the problem, is one part of it seems to get more water or holds the water better, and then one part gets dry and dusty, and then that's what kills it. So cool thing is it's a really small issue, and if you've got such a great program right now, you can pretty much go unchanged and it's still going to be an awesome show.
Yeah, we're hoping. So I believe it's like $60,000 to punch a well in there.
Wow, holy crap!
A lot.
That's kind of the goal for down the road, is punch a well in there in the bottom, and then we don't have to worry about refilling wells. You can run a hard line up the hill.
Yeah.
We've looked into water additives to get the water in the ground and to have it hold in the ground. They're just really expensive. And, kind of like you were stating earlier, it's like a break even every year. We haven't really made a lot of money on this event. It takes a ton of work, and we all want to get some return, but also, every year we're putting tons of money back into the venue. So hopefully down the line we can get a watering system, we can get a water additive that helps with the hill. I know that bringing a clay in has helped. It helped out the top.
Yeah.
So hopefully some of that clay, it's hard to dump it down in that middle section where it gets really dry. Hopefully it starts working its way down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the pictures. They put like plywood up. It looks like it kind of looks like LeBras.
Yeah.
To hold the clay back. So
cool.
this year there's gonna be like a gap, I think, when we pull that plywood into that clay, which would be kind of cool, make it a little bit more
Sweet.
difficult.
Yeah.
I thought the
it's
clay
looking
was
good.
awesome too. Like that made that top, because that top was really freaking tricky before that, and it came down to like early draws were a ginormous advantage, and I thought you could, by putting that, it leveled the playing field a lot more.
Yeah, huge shout out to John and Team GSD. Those guys, they're doing all that stuff year round. He's sending me videos. Announcement: we have a starting gate grid for King of the Hill. So full expanded metal,
Nice.
5 gates right next to each other, bar to bar. I mean, it's like a moto style gate, full grid.
Nice.
Cool.
So I'll hopefully even that out, because I know that's a big deal with a lot of guys. And then I regraded kind of the face there and made that more even for the start. So gate is
huge.
the biggest deal.
Yep.
That's awesome. You also announced $40,000 purse. That's a lot of money, Brett. That's pretty epic. What, you must be kicking some money in, or got some sponsor help, or how is that working? Because man, that's a bunch of dough.
Yeah. It's been around like 30, 36, I believe, with the entries, and we've had complaints from people with about the purse. It's spread out over 2 days, so guys come and they'll do good in one class one day and not really get enough to make the trip worth it. So we kind of took that into consideration, and we're basically throwing in another 10 grand on top of what we feel it's going to be, just as a gamble and to try to get riders there and to try to give back to you guys, because you guys are the show. Without you guys, we don't have a show. And so, I know a lot of these riders, they travel, out of pocket to all these events. They don't have a ton of sponsors, and we want to get back to you guys and get riders to the venue.
Well, on behalf of all riders, thank you for adding to the purse. That's always appreciated, and something that, especially when a promoter doesn't have to do, that I appreciate even more, because there's times where promoters are required to do that and come up with it, but promoters can also choose to do the bare minimum. So I just automatically appreciate it a lot when a promoter chooses to go above and beyond and add a little bit like that. And it's huge, especially, I mean, I know as much as anybody how much stuff costs and getting to the places. So every extra dollar gets you a few more miles down the road.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're trying real hard to build just the venue up as a whole as well, and get a corporate sponsor in here so that we can, not do this so out of pocket. And, the venue we have there at Dry Creek is crazy. It's 524 acres. We have some more events that are going to be going on here this year. Dirt Riders Motorcycle Club is a local motorcycle club there that's going to put on a hard enduro in November.
Sweet.
So that'll be cool. We got a couple side-by-side rodeos going on, and we're just trying to get stuff going on throughout the year to kind of build up some of that money so that it's not such a hit to put on events. But we're gambling at adding some money in, but we want to get back to you guys.
Awesome. I feel like with what you guys are doing and adding, you're not far from getting a big corporate sponsor, because now you've got the event and the footage for it. Now you've got the social views and media, which is really what anybody cares about nowadays. And you're getting the crowd in there and good engagement with everything. So hopefully you can nail something like that soon, because that's the toughest thing. And what us as a sport needs worse than anything right now is some big sponsor, to some rich guy that wants to blow some money on us.
Right. Maybe Maverick gas stations can have the naming rights or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it's just it's tough for the sport as a whole. Mm-hmm. I think when people think of hill climbing, they think of just hillbillies. And I think what you guys are doing at Bay City, what we're doing, what a lot of the venues are doing, what Motoclimb series is doing, we're trying to push the professionalism of the sport and get it out there and show the ability of these riders and the machines that they're on. the uniqueness of it. I think that's a gold mine for somebody but it's just getting it in their hands. I contacted Monster, Red Bull, all the energy drink companies that are up there. No reply on any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you got to get them the right stuff. And I don't know what that is. I think it might just be getting in front of their face and showing them.
Right.
I made this bitchin' sponsorship portfolio, really nice, and sent that out. That wasn't working. I think next year I'm going to go to video maybe. I think video does a little bit more justice than seeing photos. And then hopefully this year, like you were stating, I get some crowd stuff and, some of that, just throw some of that stuff in there and get a real cool edit going.
It's really hard. I think a lot of it, just from everything that I've seen and done, it purely doesn't come across as cool on video as it really is in real life. Like, just no matter what you do, you can get angles that make it look better or make it look more accurate. But until you're sitting there and you see these 150 horsepower bikes wide open up the hill going 50, 60 miles an hour, you purely can't understand it. Hard enduro is the same way. I've done those. I'll watch all the recaps and be like, oh, I think I can ride through there. And then you get it in front of your face and you're like, what the hell? There's no way a dirt bike can even go up this. And hill climbing is the exact same way. When it's gnarly, it just does not come across well on camera. And I don't know, like you said, if you could get one Monster guy to come out there or one Red Bull guy to come out there and see what it is, I think you'd have a lot better engagement. But it's just like, how do you break open to get them out there, And then even when they see the professionalism of what the sport has become, because it's changed a lot in the last 5 years, 10 years even.
Yes.
It's almost a completely different sport than what it used to be.
Yeah. I think like the sponsors, to get them, we got to get the fans. And that's what you're doing by building that fan base. And I'm wrong about 60% of the things that come out of my mouth. But the one thing I've always felt is that what hill climbing could be, or what in my fantasy, what I'd like, is that NHRA experience where you're going to camp for the weekend. You're going to, you've been doing tile or concrete or whatever all week. You're going to go have a 3-day weekend. You're going to camp. You're going to go to your camper, make some frickin' unbelievable brats. When you hear the frickin' loud bike start up, you're going to walk over. You're going to watch these fire-breathing dragons. Then you're going to go back to your camper while the 450s and everything's going in the background. And that's NHRA. Nobody's there to watch the Pro Street class. It's epic. The awesome racing. Everybody's there to watch the top fuel guys, and that's it. And you can see it. The stands get plump full for the top fuel, and they empty out. But what I want to add to it is what NHRA does is when they're not in the stands, the fans are in the pits and they're looking at the stuff. And that's where I really think that what you guys have in Washington, your pit row, is so epic. We need to somehow encourage more fan interaction in that area. Because I think, everybody's too nice to people, or they don't want to go and stand in front of somebody and let them know, like, it's okay. These guys have their bikes right by the edge of their tent so you can look at them. It's like, I think that is, because like your guys' 890, Bret, that thing is a work of art, right? Like, people want to come see that bike. They want to come see Logan's Buell, these unique works of art. Like, we got to showcase them more and more.
That's some really good input. We have a new announcer this year because Jamie has retired from announcing, and so he's announced there before. His name's Levi.
So good
with the mustache. Have you seen him?
Yeah. He was there the first couple of years I went.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So he's back.
Yep.
So I've been trying to cue him in on some stuff that we want him to do. We want him to work the crowd. We're gonna have some games and stuff that we're going to do with the crowd to kind of get some games with giveaways and stuff like that. But I will definitely pitch that to him to tell him, hey, get in the pro pits, check out the bikes, all that stuff. This is all good info because, man, I'm trying to cover every base.
I'm trying to think of like some way to do it that doesn't cost a lot of energy or time, but we almost need like some way that like the fans could like vote for like the best team or the best pit up or the best side. Like one thing I thought was everybody has like a tub of chips or something on their tent, and like the fans can come by and grab a chip and throw it in a bucket. And, just to get the people there to look at all the bikes and all the teams. And then, maybe you got 10 people, the top 10 that want to have this. and have something just to get engagement, because that's, I see that on the East where we'll have awesome fan interactions. They open the pits up after the race. We talk to people year after year that they come and they have, they've been watching Jay Selstrom for 10 years and they come and they see him every year. I want that fan interaction everywhere like that,
Yes, no, we definitely need to take some cues from East Coast because they kill it, man. It's insane.
Right.
But yeah, getting the fans in there, getting autographs, doing all that stuff. I know Columbus used to do the whole autograph signing. You sit down at a table and do all that stuff. As a rider, that was a little bit rough because you're kind of in your mojo. But getting the fans in there.
I'm just thinking, like, when you're moving gates and stuff like that, like, hey, go out there, look at those bikes under those tents. Pit row is open. Hey, go. There's a 890 out there. There's a Buell out there. If you ride a bike on the street, chances are that motor is in a dirt bike chassis out there. Go find it. The people would love to tell you about it. It's like, I think that there is downtime during the race where that it's a good opportunity to get the fans in there looking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the race, unbelievable. But are you riding, Bret?
Yeah, 450 class. I can't not ride.
Yes.
I tried to do that for a couple of years, and I'm gonna keep going until I feel like it's kind of just the time. And I've thankfully consistently made it in the top 5, 6 every year. And I last year was the first year that my son came, and I was he expects me to go out and win, but I broke that to him real quick. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm not going to win. But
you ride awesome though. It's so fun that you get to be able to ride what you're building.
Yeah, I told him, I'm like, if I get a top 5, that's a win for me, and I'm just happy to go. I'm enjoying it so much these days. There's no pressure there. Yeah. Which is huge. I really wish I would have rode with that mindset back when I was riding full time, because it was so much pressure. It almost wasn't fun.
Right.
When you'd lose.
Yeah.
And losing sucks. Everybody hates losing, but to be able to just be like, oh, well, on to the next thing. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying riding the bike. I don't get a lot of seat time on it. Right. But I'm enjoying being out there and dicing it up with everybody. And my whole thing is, if I get a top 5, that's a win for me. And I just really want to make it to the ramps. Like I love it.
You look good on them too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so fun. And it's awesome to see you with your whole family there. And you talk about your boy, Drake. And last week, or it would be 2 weeks ago when this airs, but we had Jeremy from Full Throttle on. And when I'm scrolling through Full Throttle, he's a KTM dealer in Bismarck. He's also a Stasic dealer. And here I see your son on almost every advertisement for Stasic. How has that been? Are you guys still involved with Stasic?
Yeah. Drake's part of the Grom squad, which is kind of their like team deal. So he gets bikes, and then anytime he breaks anything, they got a mechanic that fixes it for him and stuff like that. So it's not a lot of money out of pocket, because those things can get expensive, and he likes to be rough on them. But yeah, it's been super cool. We've been basically kind of with Stasic since he got his first Stasic, because that was when they first came out, and we started posting videos and people were tripping out on the bike period. Like, hey, what bike is that? So we've been with them for a while, and then he's just, progressively gotten better and better and better. And I go out, I shoot video of him doing cool stuff, and then I give it to Mom, and she puts it together in a video and does all of his Instagram and handles all that stuff. So it's been a cool ride. It's really cool to see him, be a part of it. And then also just as a dad and being a bicycle rider, motorcycle rider my whole life.
Right.
With him, it was, whatever you want to do, I'm going to support you in. And, thank God it was 2 wheels, because I get to enjoy it with him. I don't have to sit at a football game every weekend.
Right. I mean, I just think that it's such an awesome brand and company. And I have 2 little girls, and we have a couple Stasic bikes, and they are, yes, they're more expensive than a regular bicycle. Not really. Some bicycles are crazy expensive, but they're so freaking awesome. They are so effortless to use. There's no maintenance to them whatsoever. You charge the battery, they get on it. My girls love them. They just love riding them. And I got a little 50. They're scared of the motor, but they're not scared of the little electric bike. And it's just been cool to see your guys' involvement with them. And I'm just hoping that company just keeps succeeding.
Oh, it's so cool what they've done for the youth. I mean, I didn't have anything like that. I had to get on a PW and go, wide open into a fence when I first rode. And then I was terrified after that of motorcycles.
Right.
But just being able to push it around like a strider, and then you give them the throttle, and then they learn how to use the throttle, and they use throttle control.
Yep.
Both of my kids rode Stasics before they rode bicycles.
Wow.
Ember, my daughter, actually rode her first Stasic at 18 months, which is it's
Wow.
crazy.
That's crazy.
The kids are getting on bikes that early, and Stasic is the reason.
Yeah.
I mean, they make it so easy, so user friendly. The different speeds on the throttle. I mean, it's
Right.
if you don't got a Stasic, I highly suggest you get one for your kid.
Get one. They're so awesome. And the thing is you can about sell them for what you buy them for, because there are no used ones. Like, everybody sells them to their neighbor or their buddy or whatever. Like, they don't break. But the only thing that goes bad is the batteries. And I did like the Milwaukee crossover on the one I got, because, it's so simple to do that stuff. And man, it just, I just remember when I was a kid, Brett, every time I crashed, I burnt my damn arm or neck or something. And there's nothing hot on those bikes. My little girls have got so twisted up. And as long as they don't, hit the ground in a bad spot, the bike's not hurting them. They're awesome.
Yeah, no, it's cool. We the Stasic that Drake and Ember both started on, little 12-inch. I just passed it down to my neighbor's daughter the other day, and it was her first bike. So I got it all cleaned up, and I put new bars on it and everything, and gave it to her, and it was super cool. It was a bittersweet moment, because I'm like, man, like I hope you get the memories out of it that we did, because it was so it's a cool machine.
Oh man, it's fun. I say it all the time, but I'm so jealous of kids. They just have so many options, right? I mean, it's just, there's so many cool things out there for kids these days.
Drake's got more bikes than I do.
So what can riders do to help you guys at Washington? What is something that we can help make you guys have a very successful weekend?
Sign up.
Obviously, repost, share, like, give information, like you said, give feedback. Let's try to build all these events, especially the Nitro Nationals out in Washington. Let's try to build them up as much as we can. That makes such a difference, just the more eyes that can see it, right? We want all the eyes that can see it as possible.
Yes, 100%. Please share, repost, like, all that stuff. That helps out the algorithm on all ends. Even just liking. I mean, you see a photo and not all the time you like it, or a video, just throw a like on there. That helps us out with our algorithm. Also, riders just being to the line in time, that holds up the show. The longer the show, the worse it is for the crowd. And then what I tell riders every year is, like, if there's any issues or anything, or something on the hill that looks weird, or an area that needs to be fixed before the next round, come let me know, because I'll get it fixed. I want you as riders to be able to put on the best show you can possibly put on for the crowd, safely too. Yeah. That's a huge thing since I got hurt, is the safety side of it. If you see a big, kicker ledge that's going to throw somebody straight over the bars like the one I hit, like, let us know, and we'll get that thing torn out before the next round, and make sure it's a safe, clean environment for you guys to showcase your skills.
I love that, Brett. Since the first time I came out there, you've broadcast that message every time to all the riders, at every rider's meeting. We want this to be fun and safe. Please, there's shovels everywhere. If you see something, fix it. Thank you for doing that. I come from a generation where don't touch anything. No, it's like, no, we know what we're freaking doing. We want everybody to have the same experience. Thank you for broadcasting that message.
Yeah. I think there's a line between gnarly and difficult and just dangerous, and that's kind of the line that I want people to see, is like, hey, I'm not trying to make it a road for you guys. Right. If there's a giant rock that's right in the lip of one of those road crossings, it needs to come out. Like, that's just something somebody's going to hit. That's not going to put on a show for anybody. And it's going to send somebody to the hospital. And what I dealt with was, insane. And I don't want to see anybody go through that over, hill climbing, over, 20-second run.
No, exactly. Well, dude, man, thank you. You are so busy. Your time, I know it's thin. We had to get you up early, but we selfishly, we wanted you to get up early so we could say thanks. Cause like, it has been so fun to see all the posts, all the interaction. We're also excited to see this event and how good it's getting and yet to be. And if we want to help any way that we can, but we know that in these organizations, like you've thanked several people that are working, but it comes down to just a handful of people in every event that make it tick. And you're one of them on this one. Thank you for your energy, your effort. Tell your wife that we thank you for that, because we know that there's probably times where your wife's like, enough's enough, right? We know how that goes. Yeah. But I hope that you hit those top fives in the 450. I hope that you're turning people away at the gate. And selfishly, I kind of want 895 to be on the top. Okay.
Heck yeah! Thank you guys for doing this and having me on. This is a big deal for the sport, just to have any coverage and to have a podcast out there and a professional setup where we can come on and talk and just BS about the sport and put the sport out there. It's just awesome. And then again, I want to throw a shout out to John Nybor. Tony B, Team GSD. My dad is a huge player in this. He does so much behind the scenes work, and my family supported me in doing it, and all the riders and fans and everybody that come out to the event. Thank you guys. You guys keep me fueled up to keep going with this and keep pushing forward and trying to raise the bar every year.
And then one other thing. Could we get you maybe later in the summer when life slows down a little bit? We want the entire Bret Peterson story. We want an hour to 2 hours of just your story. Would you be willing to come back on when you get a little more time?
Oh, heck yeah. Anytime,
yes. Man. Anytime. Look at that, guys. We got it. We got him booked. All right, Mitt. Well, we'll try not to make you wake up way ass early next time, okay?
Yeah, please. A little bit later in the day would be great.
All right. Well, everybody, get to the Washington Nitro Nationals. Bret, thank you. For now, we're out of here, man.
Right on. Come on. Mama told me one day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king, and my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, 'cause they'll get you through this so-called life.